Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is TDT, the developing trader, coming back at you again with another video. So I want to start off by giving my apologies. I was unable to post on my channel for the past week. As I was saying in my previous video, I have family in town. Both my mom and dad were in a very serious accident, and they are currently staying with me here. And my mom actually did not get the best news, and she needs another 3 weeks of recovery. She fractured one of her hands in an accident, but they are both all right. Just following up and doing some checkups to make sure that everything is okay. So they'll be here with me for another week, maybe two, and then from there I'll try to get back on a more consistent basis, posting to YouTube. As I was telling you, I want to start doing some live streams in the pre-market, so that will begin once everything is okay with them. So moving into this week's analysis and projection, let's start off with our news releases happening this week. As you can see, Monday we have a clear schedule. Then moving into Tuesday, April 21st, we have core retails. Then we have retail sales all happening at 8:30. Moving into 10 a.m., Fed Chair Designate Wash testifies. And then we have pending home sales month over month. Wednesday is another clear day of medium to high impact news. And then we move into Thursday, where we have 8:30 in the pre-market unemployment claims, as well as 9:45 flash manufacturing PMI and flash services happening at 9:45, right at that opening bell 15 minutes in. We'll end the week with Friday at 10 a.m. medium impact UOM consumer sentiment, and that is all the news releases we will be having this week. Now let's go ahead and move into the chart and see what's been cooking in these markets. Alright, and as everyone knows that has been following me for this year, we are only looking at NASDAQ moving forward, although we do see that Dixie did have some bearish action, but we want to focus in on NASDAQ. A few weeks ago I told you we were first targeting this fair value gap. This is a quarterly chart here that we're looking at. So before this even entered this fair value gap, we were targeting that at the beginning of the year. In my previous videos, you will see that I was expecting a bit more of a dynamic wick, I would say a longer wick. I did expect price to wick into this candle, and I was saying that I thought we would have a wick similar to this, where it has a very extensive wick. That did not happen, and we are now back at all-time highs, just off a week, like just a week of me missing videos, and here we are. As we were falling this entire time, I never felt like with those equal highs that we were seeing. Let's move into a monthly before I get into those equal highs. I thought that we would have a little more friction moving through these fair value gaps, this inefficiency. I expected there to be a little more friction in there, but it just bursted through every level on the way to these highs here that you see, equal highs that it left behind, and now we've returned back to all-time highs. What I do want to see over the next 2 months, how strong this action here will be. I want to see if we continue going up and perhaps leave a gap moving into the summer, and then we'll see what transpires at that time. Okay, let's move back to that weekly and let's head into a daily here. And you can see how many days is this of just straight. We had one consolidation day here, and all April it just was tearing aggressively towards that liquidity pool above the market. In my previous video, I was telling you how I was targeting this area in price. This is basically the last thing I spoke about, and we did go and get that. I thought there would be a little more friction, as I said, but absolutely no friction. I talked about not targeting this because I figured the work was done here, but price had other plans. Now, you can talk about what's happening in Iran. A lot of people are talking about Trump and manipulating the markets, but everything is very technical. If you look at what we're seeing here, it dives in, we get that response, and we're on our way to all-time highs. Okay, so this is why fundamentally, you know, I prefer technicals because the technicals always tells me what's going on. Although fundamentally, a lot of people were feeling like it was very bearish. I got sold into thinking it was extremely bearish as well, or it's going to be a market crash, or we're sitting in an AI bubble. All of this, all of that. You know, I have a lot of friends that are very emotional about this market. Me, I just follow what the price is doing, and I try to leave those emotions to the side. Being an intraday trader, you tend to get a lot of response from the market, whether you're right or wrong. And over my, I'd say about 7 to 8 years following the market, trying to become a profitable trader, you just start to become a little emotionally neutral on things, you know, because there are a lot of times I think price is going to do something and I'm just completely wrong. The market shows me that right away, and then we move forward. Okay, you can't get too emotionally attached to anything that's not being seen in this chart. Okay, so I did talk about how once we created this gap right here, once this price here on that's March 31st, we cleared that gap, put it in so right there, and we were here, and I thought we would go take this area. We had this inefficiency that we were looking at, and we wanted to see what would be the response in this area, and that's your response. Did not give a crap about it, and it had places to be, and it got there. Okay, so we're working with where we're at right now. So on a daily basis right now, we have not had one bearish day as yet. We have created a ton of inefficiencies on our way up where price has not returned to. It just keeps blasting on up. So at some point, price is going to cool off. They were saying that we had a lot of things happening over the weekend. There was supposed to be a ceasefire. That ceasefire was apparently violated, and we had some gunfire over there in the Strait of Hormuz. You know, people are saying Trump is manipulating the markets. The markets are manipulated, point blank period. Whether it's Donald Trump doing it, whether it's the market makers, we know it's manipulated because we can see the manipulation when we're looking at what's going on. Okay, so we work within that. That's why I love being an intraday trader, where I can make my money real quick and not try to, you know, hold on for such long times where you really feel the tension of the back and forth. Now, being a buyer in April, you would have made a lot of money. This is something I want to grow into as I develop, and you know, we're working with what we have right now. So at this moment, I actually have no strong convictions about what price is going to do, other than we are going to see some bearish action eventually returning in to fill some of these gaps. Over the next 3 months, we want to see, well, not 3 months at this point because we're halfway through April. So we want to see what happens going into June and revisiting that 3-month chart and seeing where we're at, if there are any inefficiencies that were created in this quarter. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna have for today. I really have no projections at this time. I can't say that I have a strong conviction about the market doing anything. Intraday, I'm gonna get my scalps and I'm gonna be good. Okay, so once I start doing my live streams, you'll see how I go about getting those scalps, getting in and out, and going on about my day. It's just crazy to me. It took what, 11 weeks just to get down, and just 1 or 2 weeks and it's all gone. Anyone that was bearish, blown out the water. Okay, so that's gonna be me for this week. I won't be doing a video midweek this week, and I probably will not do a weekly projection next week. But after that, I'll begin my pre-market live trading, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you guys have a great week. I'm wishing you all the best as always, and this is TDT out. Peace.